Hello, everyone. Welcome back to She. Hello, Joel. Hello, Dr. Sal. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Today, me and Joel are really honored to introduce Dr. Sal Bharwani, a board certified gastroenterologist and nutritionist, gut brain pioneer, researcher, educator, and founder of GutRewired. With nearly 30 years of experience at the intersection of gastroenterology, neuroscience, nutrition, and microbiome, Dr. Sal has published nearly 100 scientific papers and abstracts and has been recognized as a Castle Connolly top doctor. He has trained and taught at some of the world's leading medical institutions, spoken internationally, and dedicated his career to helping people understand the powerful connection between the gut, the brain, and the overall health. Through GutWire, and he'll tell us definitely more about it, he's translating complex science into practical strategies for better health, disease prevention, and longevity. And we're all about longevity nowadays. So today we're going to dive into a topic we know so many of you are curious about: the gut-brain connection. They say actually the gut is the second brain, emotion and health, and what our body may be trying to tell us. So one more time, thank you, Dr. Sal, for joining us. Welcome, and let's dive in.
Yes, let's dive in.
So much, Valentina, for a marvelous introduction.
Of course.
And thank you both for having me. Thank you both.
Oh, I'm so glad that we connected and in San Diego, and I'm sure we're going to be doing many, many more events together.
Looking forward to it, Joel.
So, I would say let's start with a question, and then of course anything that you want to share with us. Like there's no script. We're like very raw and authentic here. This is the like why she is so I don't know, like so important for us and for our listeners. So, what happens in the body when we repeatedly suppress emotions instead of expressing them?
So, the important thing that we found out over the last few years is that the gut microbiome, which is a collection of 38 trillion microbes inside our gut. So they are more than your body cells. Your body cells are 25 trillion, but you have 38 trillion bacteria mostly in your gut, and they are sensing everything, the kind of food you eat, the kind of stress you're going through, the emotions that you're feeling, and they contribute to it. And so our diet, our lifestyle, our stresses in our lives actually determine how your microbiome is going to survive. And if they thrive really well, then they create such powerful molecules, the compounds for your body that go to your brain. They don't only fix your gut, the leaky gut, the inflammation, but they reduce inflammation throughout the body, throughout your brain. And when the brain inflammation goes down, your stresses are better, you better handle them, your resilience improves, your emotional regulation improves, and it works for your anxiety and depression as well. So those
Yeah.
are the powerful molecules that the gut microbiome creates for you. And if you are in a kind of stress mode, suppression of emotions, or you're going through grief, you have a very high cortisol. So your diurnal rhythm of your body, your cortisol secretions are high, which means that you are always in that sympathetic nervous system mode, which is fight, flight kind of system, and you don't have the digest and rest mode, which is the parasympathetic nervous system. So
Exactly.
your gut brains are definitely connected. So once you have emotional issues, those you secrete certain hormones, and that imbalance leads to anxiety and depression in the brain. But in the gut, it can manifest in the form of irritable bowel syndrome. You may have constipation, diarrhea, abdominal cramping, bloating, all these kind of issues you start feeling it in your gut. So emotions are directly connected two ways. One is like your bad emotions or your negative emotions are affecting your microbiome health, and they are not thriving well. Many of them die. And on the other hand, the microbiome health determines the beneficial effect, how good your brain's going to work, how well you're going to have emotional resilience and control over or regulation of your emotions. So it's bilateral communication between gut.
Yeah. What would you say? I know when you were doing your speaking in San Diego, you were giving some really good, diet tips also, because there's certain foods that help with that microbiome, right?
Correct, correct. So your microbiome thrives on many different varieties of plants. So what happens is that we often say eat more vegetables, but that's become like cliche now. It's that doesn't work. If you eat the same vegetables, same like if you have, you have cucumber, you have broccoli, and you have one other item, cilantro, for example. You have only these three in your diet and you're taking it every day. And the fruits, you have apple, banana, and orange every day, and you're eating ton of it. That doesn't strengthen your microbiome. What strengthens your microbiome is the diversity, the variety, and the number of species of plants. So you have to, the studies have shown in San Diego, actually, University of California, San Diego, they published a study in 2018 from American Gut Project. It's a very wide collection of specimens they had, and they studied microbiome. And they found that those who ate more than 30 different plants every week had a far more diverse microbiome compared to those who ate 10 variety or less. So
Wow.
Yeah.
this is important. And the color is important. You
Yeah.
cannot have the same color. You have to have rainbow. So if you eat different colors, you have more polyphenols, more antioxidants, and that determines your microbiome health. So
Yeah.
it's like your microbiome is like, it's like they're sitting, but if you don't feed all of them, some of them will start dying. And they feed on different variety of fruits and vegetables. So that is the important element to remember.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? And I remember you saying that when we were in San Diego, but it's so amazing the way God is. The rainbow is the colors of your chakras.
Yes,
It's the
exactly.
rainbows. It's
Right.
the color of the fruits and the vegetables that we should consume. It's like none of that is coincidence. Dr. Sal, is there any certain foods that you should stay away from? And also, even though we're eating this, we know that in America we have this problem with pesticides and all that stuff. Honestly, it's better in other countries, but even though we're trying to eat healthy, we're still fighting the chemicals in our food.
Correct. So these are two issues now. So we are in an uphill battle, against the very, very strong industries that are producing snacks, which are laden with emulsifiers and sugar alcohols. So something to avoid definitely when you shop, you have to look for emulsifiers, read in the ingredients. You have to have three or four ingredients only. If you have a ton of them, it means something's wrong. That,
Right.
and if you see emulsifier, lecithins, if you see gum, if you see CMC or carbomethoxyl cellulose, or you have polysorbate 80, these kind of chemical names, hard to pronounce stuff, is definitely something that has been shown in mice studies. I have to be very careful, not in human, but in mice studies, animal studies, that they strip off your mucus lining, the protective barrier of your gut.
Yeah.
It becomes thinner and thinner. So the harmful bacteria come closer to the wall, which means
Right.
they're ready to start inflammation.
Yeah.
How are you treating? So we were discussing this too about the emotions of your clients. Me and you were discussing this about the suppression of the emotions, but also about how are you treating your clients who have this? Because if we think about it, um, how many people have issues with their stomach? And it's like anxiety, fear, but then actually having Crohn's, colitis, IBS, and how many of these things are actually started from emotional suppression, which is the beginning of the disease process. So, how are you treating them like a client?
So what I do is like I have created this, I have 7 pillars. So I've created this 7 pillar program that all affect your microbiome. And if you work with it, it diversifies your microbiome and strengthens it. But that includes like B, C, D, E, F, G. I've kept it very simple. Alphabets. A is to avoid emulsifiers, sugar, alcohols, and of course, as organic as you can go to avoid pesticides and all that.
Right.
And the second, B is for breathing, because your breathing increases the diaphragmatic breathing, the
Breath work.
it actually increases your vagal tone. And vagal tone increase means more sympathetic, which is rest and digest mode. And that means also better permeability of the gut, reduce leaky gut issues. Okay, so they're all connected. So breathing. Then C for counting species and colors we talked about.
Yeah.
Is drinking water, because you have to have enough of water to move all that plant fibers along, right? And the water will also thicken the mucus lining because it's 95% water.
Right. We are.
Studies have shown that underhydrated people are more likely to have gut barrier issues.
Yeah.
So leaky gut issues. So which hydration is extremely important. And then you have E for early sleep. So before 10 o'clock, they say that the 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is the perfect time of your mind to relax and rest and deal with all your daily emotions and stuff. This is when the major cleansing happens. Okay, so that sleep, early sleep, and then you have fasting. Fasting for 12 to 14 hours. It is a big cleanser.
Daily, right? Daily.
Daily 12 to 14 hours, which means if you eat early at night, you can eat a little late breakfast, you
Yeah.
automatically cover 12 to 14 hours.
Right.
If
Exactly.
you're eating a little late, but then you have to have a couple of hours before sleeping. If I eat late sometimes, then I wake up and then I eat later the breakfast. But the goal should be early sleep and early eating. And then, of course, fasting. And the last is G, which is go, go, go for your movement. Your body needs to move. So we recommend 10 to 15 minutes after every meal. That reduces your blood sugar spikes. And the movement moves the bowels. The movement actually creates your muscle strength and keeps resistance. You're training your muscles stay, in better shape. So you also
Right.
to do weight training along with it. And when we talk about plants, I also encourage enough of proteins. Both animal and plant proteins are important. So when you look at all these things, these also the better sleep, the breathing, all that affects your emotions. Your
Absolutely.
So
resilience
true.
is built on.
Yes.
Right? So your microbiome health is improved, and that in turn returns you as a favor. So you invest in them, they will feed you back.
I
Return.
want to, yeah. Quick question with that, because me and Valentina were just talking about this before we started the episode. What what would like colonics do? Is that good for you? Or now that I'm just wondering, does that strip your microbiome or does that help to cleanse you?
The colon enemas and stuff.
Yeah, like if you did colonics
Yeah.
or colon
Yeah.
Colon
cleanses.
cleanse.
No, in fact, they are counterproductive.
Interesting.
They're, they are, I mean, if you're doing it just for once a month or something like that, it's a different story. But people who do it very often, then you are stripping.
That's what I was wondering, but I think it's a balance of
It's a
doing it, but
balance. Yeah,
not
if you
okay.
like,
No,
yeah,
not
it's
overdo it,
definitely
because then it becomes
Right.
not
counterproductive.
overdoing. Correct,
Of course.
correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And
And that's what I was just feeling intuitively. Like, let me ask about this because we were talking about this and
Yeah,
I
we
do think
were.
it would be good, but yet at the same time, the nurse in me kicked in and was like, wait a minute, is that going to strip the microbiome that we
Even
need?
once a month,
Okay.
I think it's too close.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 If it's like, some people, like some people have constipation and they take enemas on a regular basis. That doesn't affect as much, but what I'm saying is that people use different chemicals or
Right.
coffee and things like that. Those have no scientific validity, and in fact may be counterproductive because you don't know your colon absorbs certain things which it should not.
Yeah.
And colon is very sensitive to extra hydration or to extra any kind of chemical exposure. So, and
Yeah.
colon also has these cleansers. Actually, cleansers are methanogens, which are the bacteria that are there to clean and do your job. But you have to strengthen them again by your A to G philosophy. If you're doing it, you don't need all these things.
What do you think? How do you feel about like a probiotic, a daily probiotic?
So again, I believe that probiotics are all fermented food that you eat, right? So if you're eating half a cup of yogurt every day, you're
There's your probiotic.
set. If you make pickles at home without vinegar, just the salt and water, you make any kind of veggie pickles, that's your probiotic.
Okay.
Home sourdough bread is your probiotic. Any
Oh, okay.
milk you have, that you like to drink, kefir, kimchi, these are all probiotics.
They are.
If you take it naturally, it has been shown that they are thousands and thousands of more healthy bacteria than anything commercial. That
You know,
like
I'm sorry, go ahead.
kombucha has it, people drink those. But yogurt that says life culture, the homemade yogurt is 1,000 times more potent probiotic than any yogurt
For
commercially available.
sure. Yeah.
If you make homemade yogurt and if you made homemade pickles, homemade sourdough, I mean, you can't beat it. There's no
Yeah.
probiotic on shelf that ever compares to the kind of variety you get from these natural food. So I don't believe that probiotic from the commercial side
Right.
is needed unless for a brief period of time if you have irritable bowels,
Okay.
certain issues, if you are intolerant, if you have gone through antibiotics, right? Recently, you have wiped out a lot of your microbes. So probiotic supplements and all those initially, I do recommend certain times, from
Yeah.
commercially available. But that should be looked at as crutches for your bone breaking, for your fractures.
Right.
You start walking, you don't need crutches. You don't need probiotics when your system is.
Just start doing. I'm going to do this because some of these I'm failing out. Even being a nurse, I'm like, knowing the disease process. Um, One other thing I want to ask you too about how you feel about this, because us Americans don't do this, but Valentina will probably understand this. In Europe, they're very much into a couple times a year doing parasite cleanses, which I think are probably very important where Americans don't seem to understand that. What do you think about that?
So we have every country, every region has their share of parasites. So we if we test for parasites, and if you we can, but sometimes they evade us. But there are very sensitive testing now that find out if you have any kind of ova or parasites or any antigen, like any molecule, any protein of that parasites. We can pick up that too.
Okay.
Totally free. If you're totally free of it, then you don't necessarily have to go after it. I'm telling you why. Because there is a theory and there's some basis to it, some foundation to it, that early exposure to parasites actually save you from future inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's and colitis. So that is the reason why in many other countries where people are playing, the kids are playing out in the mud and they get some parasites, their immune system has become so strong that when they are threatened by any immune disorders or systems, they don't get bowel diseases that quick. So
Yeah.
that,
Just like, yeah.
so that again, what are we wiping out? We have to question.
Right. Because we can wipe out good
Yes.
parasites too.
Right. So if you are taking again once a year something, it's not a problem. But
Right.
you are thinking constantly, I may have parasites, I need to do this, but there is has to be evidence. And there are many good bugs that are sitting there just watching you, in favor of you. They are not necessarily there to hurt you. Just like antibiotics, we are becoming so careful now in prescribing them.
Right. Yeah.
Good.
I tell my
Yeah.
I'll tell people to question your doctor twice. Could this be viral? Can we wait? Do we absolutely need antibiotics?
Yeah.
Those are the important things. What are we wiping out? People like to scare other people. Like, those who are marketing some things, they want you to take certain products. So we have to be careful. Are they in our best interest? Once a year, if I take, an antiparasitic, it's not going to be bothersome.
Yeah.
What do you think about, I'm sorry, I want to ask you one more question about what do you think about this big craze now with, okay, Ozempic, peptides, but then also gastric bypass surgery was a huge thing that I would see so many people get approved for, and then would have problems with absorption rate after. Do you think that correlates?
It's you have to be very careful who you select for the gastric bypass surgery. Again, Ozempics and all those are like, if you make it commercially available, there's a lot of abuse that goes on then. Yeah,
Right.
using it and your body doesn't really need it. But we have a very, I worked with obese patients and we have a very clear selective criteria. Like if they have diabetes, if they have a real bad fatty liver issue along with diabetes, and they are seriously obese, morbidly obese, the chances are with any kind of weight loss regimen, they may not succeed. And in such cases, if you do gastric bypass, it cures diabetes.
Yeah.
That's the biggest blessing they can get in their life. So if again, it's very, very careful. It's important for us to have the best experts do these kind of decision with you, so that there is no abuse and there is no unnecessary. You're right. If you do gastric bypass in like less than 18 years of age, they don't have complete, development
Yeah,
and
the absorption.
of certain nutrients,
Yeah.
correct? So, and you have to like after bypass, it's not easy. Every 2 hours you're eating because your stomach is small.
Yeah.
But the damages of extra weight, this surgery by far is more beneficial in some patients. Significant. It's like a blessing to some patients, but
Yeah.
not. You're right. Some are going to be like they are just so much worried about the figure itself that they're not even that bad BMI, that
No.
obesity, but they go for it. They will
Yeah.
they will suffer more because weighing pros and cons, benefits, risks, right?
Right. And then the emotional piece of it, because I know a lot of clients that have had the gastric bypass, but the emotional depression is still there because they still see the obese person in their emotional,
Right,
you
right.
know, they're not, they,
Identity.
even though they had it, but the emotions of being overweight or the trauma from being overweight is still very much part of their identity.
The
That
identity.
is
Yeah.
so true. Because all of a sudden they have dropped weight
Right.
and their mental image has not caught up. That
Right.
time that takes a long time,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's an identity shift. It's definitely an and that's why I find that some of the clients that I have had who have had that still have the emotional trauma because in the mirror, they're still seeing
Correct.
that. Right. And we, we talked about.
And
Right.
there
And
you can see that when they say it's true, reality is who you are, it's not what it is. Because even if they
Your
actually,
identity.
there we go, it's the identity. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. In all of this. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I find this also interesting, but me and Dr. Sal were talking about this too, of what he does and then about, what I do with the emotions. And we were discussing that about how much we do suppress in our gut. So, Dr. Sal, after your clients go through this and they're doing all the stuff for gut health, um, they're also working on their emotions.
that's correct, because everything starts falling in place, right?
Yes.
Because the microbiome health, now recent literature is showing that you are, the stronger your microbiome is, the stronger your emotional resilience. So which means you're not easily going to fall apart. You're going to make, decisions which are wiser, and you're going to make no emotional decisions.
I
That's the
totally
first,
agree.
no knee-jerk reactions. So
Yeah.
your performance improve, your brain fog lifts. All of this that microbiome can do. And in one study, which sounds really crazy, but it's published, that in a game in a game where people played, that showed the sense of fairness. So with the extra probiotic treatment, the people who were playing the game were compared to those who were not on probiotics. Those who had probiotics were actually making decisions which was more fair. And that is crazy. That tells you like so much of us is our
Oh,
microbiome. That
I
is
feel
I have
that.
a
I
question.
feel dehydrated, and when I'm dehydrated, I my body feels totally off. Brain fog, tired, even a feeling of sometimes depression. I'm like, why am I feeling this that way? And I'm like, oh, I'm dehydrated. I'm dehydrated, and you make the connection. But what were you gonna say, Valentina?
Yeah, based on these, that we're not gonna make emotional decisions. So, what does trust in your gut actually, like, mean from a psychological and a physiological perspective? Because at this point, and then I want
Very
to
nice
actually go
question.
back to the fasting because I have a question. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. So yeah, the gut feeling or the emotions from gut is actually you are gut senses it very quickly, even before the brain processes it. The reason is the gut is very rich in serotonin. When we think serotonin, which is a happy hormone, we think brain, we think anxiety, depression, where you need more serotonin. 90% of your serotonin is inside the gut. So that's where your happiness, your mood is your gut. So that's why you're sensing it. Your sensing capacity of the gut is faster. It immediately reacts to the bad news. You feel
Yes.
that wrenching experience. These are all true. And
Yeah.
it has not even had time to process like what went wrong. But the gut will tell you something is wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Even with a person, that instinct. Yes.
Yeah.
So the vibe that you feel immediately, you feel like pit in the stomach, or somebody that you come across which is not right into your wavelength, you feel it inside, something's not right. The nausea sets in right away. Appetite is lost right away.
So
Yes.
fascinating.
Uh, are just all the norepinephrine, epinephrine, cholecystokinin, all these chemicals, serotonin, they're tremendous amount in the gut. So that is the pathway because they excite, and in your hippocampus is the emotions. So the microbiome sends good information or bad information, right? If it's inflamed, the inflammation tells you to secrete high cortisol, which means you're going to be in stress all the time.
Yeah. Dr. Sal, that's great because now when people, with my clients, when they're dating, I'm going to tell them if he's disrupting your microbiome, then you know
Not the
what?
right
That's
person for
it.
you.
You're out. You're disrupting my microbiome. That is a pure sign that you are not a good match for
So
me.
one of my biggest mission is that microbiome becomes a household name.
Yes.
He knows what it is, your friendly bacteria environment. Everybody understands that. You know, the more interesting, Joel, is that the whole microbiome is like fascinating story. And one of my books is going to come out about this, the lady who, in the moment of grief, actually falls into her microbiome and then watches her whole, journey, like what is happening inside. And these
Beautiful.
bacteria are very, very sharp. They're very, very, there's a lot of politics that goes on inside. There are some who sit on the fence, depending on what kind of food comes.
You're right.
Food, they become good guys. Bad food, they become bad guys. So this
Yeah, your little firefighters.
is
Yeah.
so crazy inside. But yes, we have to be very careful. Um, um, and also, I wanted to make sure that the audience, your audience knows this, that there are many ways to deal with emotions. But yes, the methods that we have, that I have with the 7 pillars, they will help you. But it does not replace, or this is not a substitute for finding a person, a counselor, or a therapist, or any agent who actually works with your emotions,
Yeah.
to talk about it, to bring your stuff out in the world, because the hidden things need to be declared. It has to
Right.
paper. So journaling is another good activity that I learned from you.
I told you it works, doesn't it? And yeah, right?
Those
It
are,
does. It works great.
yeah, because you're putting everything on paper rather than
Right.
carrying it around all. So that's what.
And what do I call it? Brain dumping. Because I'm like, just dump it, stuff out of your brain. That's what it is. It's trying to get that stuff out, those emotions. So, yes, I'm glad that you're utilizing that. Yeah.
No, it is indeed a very intriguing, and we see how we are intersecting. In whether you arrive from the brain or you arrive from the gut, your goal
Yeah.
is the same, right?
Absolutely.
Keep that center, that harmony inside.
We
Yeah.
should think about doing too at some point. We can do like a panel discussion with a bunch of us from different types of modalities, and invite people in to hear these types of things. These are the ways we can even collaborate together, which we've talked about in San Diego. Valentina, you had a question you wanted to ask, didn't you?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yes.
actually, so a quick question, and then I want you, because you're the founder of GutRewired, I want you to tell us more about it. My question, going back to fasting, so we mentioned the 12, 14, 16 hours daily, but how about a longer fasting? Like I used to do a 36 hours, like once a month, but then I went down to 24 because honestly, it was too much, and I have to, you have to trust your body and listen to your body. Does that work? Like, how would you, I don't know. Yeah. What would
So
you say about it?
there is with fasting, what we have found, like in animal studies, it shows that short fasting, like if you do 12 to 14 hours also, that kind of fasting actually helps with obesity and more giving enough break to the microbiome to do its work. So when we're fasting, there is a wave of muscle movement. We call it migrating motor complex, MMC, that starts from your stomach and goes all the way to the end, colon. And that movement actually wipes out the debris, the bad bacteria, the any other toxins. It is a natural detoxic mechanism that happens when you're fasting. But people who keep eating all the time, it's like the cleaning crew never gets to come to clean. The restaurant is running 24 hours.
Right.
There's no time to clean up. So that wastage is gone during that time. Plus, what happens in a longer fasting, it is not like as a physician and as a healer, I don't recommend long fasting, but I have done it myself. And the reason is because I have met some people. There is no data, again, no strong data, but I met people who have shown that if you do 72-hour or such fasting more than 36-hour, what happens is after 36 hours, your stem cells, the cells that actually make all the body cells, they have the capacity to. That template cells actually regenerate, which means your body is actually getting rid of all the mutants, which can potentially lead to cancer. So they say that long-term fasting, longer fasting may be beneficial to prevent cancers in the future. But then again, it's a big claim, but there's no significant data
Data.
to go.
Yeah.
That's the reason we don't, as healers, recommend long-term fasting. We leave it to people what they want to do. But we know what we recommend is 12 to 14 hours.
Yeah.
Or if you stretch it a little bit more, that actually gives enough time for the microbiome to recover and to do their job properly. Because those are the specialized bacteria that clean up the mutations, that clean up, because we are multiplying all the time. You're not the same person you were 10 years ago.
Right.
Not a single cell is the same. There's
Are you drinking water through that? Or can you drink water? Stay
Yes,
hydrated through the
yes,
12 to 14
absolutely.
hours?
Yeah. Any
Okay.
fasting
Ah,
you do, water is absolutely essential.
Okay.
But what in my own experience, when I fasted long, I felt that I needed electrolytes also, some salt.
Yeah.
yeah,
Otherwise, you would
exactly.
have fainting, or you can feel dizzy and all that. You may have headaches.
Yeah,
It doesn't sound natural to keep doing that, long-term things.
exactly.
For
That's
an
why I
experience,
stop. Yeah. Go ahead.
right. So if you do 12 to 14 and consistently and you sleep well, because if you are not sleeping well, again, your emotions are going to be going bad. They will start becoming negative because you're in a chronic jet lag mode if your sleep is disturbed. So that, like people who have shift workers, they work night shifts and they keep changing their shifts, they have more gut issues.
Oh, yeah.
Their microbiome is disturbed again because microbiome loves the clock. It loves cycles. It loves diurnal symptoms. People who become biologically, there are two types of a breakdown, mental breakdown people have, burnouts. There is a biological burnout and there's a psychological burnout. So psychological burnout is environment. So if you take the person out of the environment, give him 10 days of break to recover and talk therapy and all that, they bounce back. But biological burnout is your cortisol is not rising in the morning and not diminished. It's flat. You bring them back from vacation, they're equally bad. They're still not performing. And that means that your microbiome needs to work now.
Yeah. Part of what I tell my clients when I talk to them about the journaling piece, because we do talk about the parasympathetic and the nervous system, and so many people tell me when they get into bed at night, when your body's supposed to be rest and recovering and going into the parasympathetic, it's kicking into the sympathetic because all the thoughts of the day.
Right.
So I say to them, that's when I say, do your brain dumping. Don't be scrolling on your phone. Do the journaling at night if you can, even if it's a little bit. Start with your grocery list. I don't care what it is, it will naturally come out. At first, it's very hard to start that modality, maybe because subconsciously people think if I write this, someone's going to see it. Burn it if you have to. But I feel like when they do the brain dumping, and that's what I always recommend, do it at night, a couple hours before you're going to go to bed. So those things that from your day are resonating, you now just move them out. And then I find that you get more restful sleep when you can at least remove that so your body then can recover.
I would add the diaphragmatic breathing to that. While you're
Absolutely. We're big breath people. Me and
Yeah.
Valentina,
And
we're big breath
and
people.
definitely frequency, listening to frequencies. Yeah, that helps too.
Yes.
Yeah.
that is very helpful. Exactly. So yeah, things people can do, but unfortunately, phone is easy, right? Our problem is accessibility. The paper and the pen should be by your bedside,
Yeah.
on your night table, but
Yeah.
nightstand. But it doesn't happen. The phone is there all the time.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, just like food, whatever is in front, people are gonna eat.
Short dopamine hits. That's what people
Yeah.
want these days. And it's like, you know what? That is not going to be the thing that's going to wind up healing you. And
Right.
we're both authors and have written books, and people always say to me, I'm like, my books are very short, 60 to 90 pages, because I try to make them impactful, because people don't have the capacity to read
Mhm.
like a Harry Potter novel anymore. They don't, right? Valentine, so tell us about your business. That's what she was going to ask, right,
Yeah, yeah,
Valentina?
exactly. Yeah, the Gower Ward, exactly. Yes.
Yes.
So we do the with the GutRewired Academy. What I do is like it's a school a program in school for 90 days. It's a 90-day commitment, which is 2 days a week. You listen to all these videos and you follow what is instructed in them. And we go through these pillars. And every you do 2 days a week with the video, you do the breathing and you do the exercise and the quiz, and then the rest 5 days you're gonna fall, succeed, fall, like fail, or that is going to be part of it. But you get another opportunity 2 days another week with me. So you're doing the videos, again some breathing, again some quiz. So this way, with failure and successes, eventually by 90 days, you have turned the chapter. Actually, you turn the page completely, and you are now in a position that if you continue this, you're more likely to continue this for a longer period of time. But if you do quick fixes, there is no 7-day cleanse, no 30-day resets, because the rewiring is a process. Even building muscles takes months, correct, from
Yes.
into another. How do you expect such a sophisticated gut brain axis to be reset within days?
Right.
So when you're working with me, you're doing homework, you're doing this. So so there are 24 lessons, 24 days. And after that, you're on your path to success. And
Yeah.
then what we do is that so anybody can join this and it is gut rewire program, but it is actually life rewire, because gut is the method, it's the tunnel through which you're going to all your parts. Your heart improves, your lung improves, your blood pressure improves, your diabetes status improves, or you don't become pre-diabetic, and your mental fog and all that, that disappears. Your performance improves, your decision improves. So it's a life wiring, but it is through the gut. So
Right.
biggest thing people don't understand is that they cubbyhole. I have no gut problems. I don't need this. But it's a rewiring of your life. But through the
Yes.
gut. The passage is the gut. Like for you, your work is through emotions.
Yeah.
Through emotion that connects the whole body and mind. For me, it's the
Yeah.
gut that connects the whole body and mind.
But it's the same process, because you're
Exactly.
repattern. You're doing the repattern of you're gonna have another heartbreak. You're gonna see where the process starts. It's almost subconscious reprogramming too.
Right.
Which then I do
So
believe that would work as successful. Very good.
and then for those who want to become the coach, they actually, to coach for this programming, they have the option. So there will be a test and an interview final. They don't have to do extra stuff, but a test and an interview, and they can actually work.
That's
And
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
and spread the mission. The mission is, but they will have to work closely to make sure that and we have developed a quiz that everyone takes first. So the red flag people are immediately asked to go to their physicians. They cannot do this. Like if you're allergic to the most important prebiotic food, like onion and garlic, and if you have irritable bowels, then I have a 6 module program for them to do to 6 videos to help with their IBS, and then they can join the program. So we're very careful about, like, the quiz automatically selects people and guides like those who have red flags. please consult your doctor. Forget about this course. This is not for you. Like
Right.
if you're blood in the poop, I mean, that's not normal. You got
Mm-hmm.
colonoscopy, right? This course is not for those people.
Right.
Simple, like if you're losing weight, if you're throwing up like crazy, go fix yourself first, come back and we'll do. And I also offer second opinions on, through GutRewired program. So, anybody who can go to the website, they can reach out to me and I'll help them navigate the system. I'm not there again to treat, but I will guide them. Like most recently, I had a case. The cases come to me from all over the world because of the Instagram. I have 700,000 plus followers. So from some Saudi Arabia, from Australia, from Germany. I can't even speak that language, but they send me something about with English translation that if they want an opinion, second, like what do we do now? What do we tell our GI doctor? That is where I come in, ask them these questions.
Right. Excellent.
And the books are gonna come up. So my business is simple, but I'm not selling anything, not supplements or anything, because I believe that's individual choice. But the more it comes from the food, the better.
So where can people find you? Because we have it, but you can speak it too. Because we're going to put this all in
We're
the
gonna
show
drop
notes for
everything.
you.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So,
yeah,
so the website is like GutRewired.com and also GutRewired.com. And they can go to either one. And then the quiz will be there so they can take the quiz. And there's a school, Gut Rewired school program they can pick up where they can join us and get free material for everything. There's download free ebooks, get all the information. And if you are really ready to join, you can join the 90-day program and rewire yourself and help others too. So.
exactly. Do you have an Instagram?
Yes, GutRewired is the same name,
Okay.
Instagram, and we have YouTube channel with the same name.
We're going to drop this episode Friday, and I'm going to send you the links because you can then share it if you'd like. It's on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple.
Perfect. We can collaborate that way too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
It's been such a pleasure, Dr. Sal. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. You brought out the best in me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
I'm so glad I will be in touch with you. I'm sure we're going to be doing some collaborations. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sal.
Thanks. Thank you, Joel.
Thanks.
I will see you next time. Yeah,
Okay.
amazing.
All right. Great. Have a wonderful Tuesday.
You
Bye.
too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.